Let's do it.
Nice one. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the RGM Experience podcast. Can't speak today. With me, Carl Maloney, that guy from RGM, bothering you in again for another week here at the Music Industry Podcast, delving into the grassroots music industry and beyond. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by none other than bloody THOM Rylance from the Lottery Winners. Hi, mate.
It's only him, innit? It gets
Him
everywhere
again
these days.
on a neon bus. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see it. But if you're listening on the audio version, he's sat on his tour bus and it's all neon.
It is a bit neon. I insist on that. I won't go anywhere unless it's
Yes.
neon. Like
Okay.
any space that I'm in,
Yeah.
has to be in neon.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, you've just told me something that's rocked me to the core a little bit, that you've never had a brew in your life.
Never, literally never tried tea or coffee.
What's going? Why? What? I can't. I'm lost for words, mate.
I just wanted to be the only like British man to complete his full life without ever having a brew. It's the only thing I'll ever achieve, and it'll probably say it on my grave. Here, like Tommy Rylance never had a brew.
Never had a brew. Bless you. Well, that's quite interesting. Well, it's lovely to join you today. I've just seen you grafting. The last time I saw you guys live was at the Academy over Christmas. They were nice gigs, mate. They looked like a lot of fun up there on that big weird stage made in to look like a front room.
Yeah, that weird stage. We had to take ourselves in a Luton van
Go on.
on like Christmas Eve
Did you? Wow.
and erect. We
Yeah,
had to erect that ourselves. Yeah.
it was nice. Are you okay? Everything all right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, mate. Yeah, sorry. The signal went a little bit fun. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
did it?
So yeah, so that's nice. You're still grafting away there in the background, working on Christmas Eve, getting your set together for your shows and things.
Like
That
the graph never stops, mate. Like I've literally just woke up in Bournemouth and I'm on a Zoom call to you.
yeah,
This is
nice one.
graph right
it,
now.
it is crap. Well, last night you were in Bristol, and I were having the first night of the tour. It last night was it the first one?
Yes.
First
Yeah, it
night.
was. I'm sorry, I
And
started deflighting yesterday. Did he look like?
I need
I've
to
done,
remind.
I've done one night.
What do you do? Talk me through it.
Like they do look a bit white.
Is it
You
them
got
things that got a blue light on it?
no, it's like this bleach that you put in some trays. I got it from a proper dentist. I didn't just get it off like Temu. And, I feel like already.
Yeah.
Let
Does
me
it
make
hurt
me.
your gums, though? Does it hurt your gums?
No, it was pain free. And if you want to do it, you can use my discount code
Nice, nice. There we
Tom,
go.
Tom Teeth for
Top.
10% off.
So was it first night of the tour then last night in Bristol? Was it?
It was, yeah. You know what, mate? Can I go somewhere else? It's too distracting here.
Of
I've
course you
got
can, mate.
yeah,
You do whatever you need to do. It's
right.
fine.
Give me a minute.
You're all right. Hi, Rob. By the way, I can see him in the background there.
Oh, okay.
Hi, mate.
I'm trying to keep a little bit.
Don't you worry about it, mate. You get involved if you want.
I'm the only one being quiet.
Right, everyone's gone. I think they took my hint.
Oh, bless you. So Bristol last night. I was looking on the socials this morning, and I loved that you made the cover sets dance and look very uncomfortable. Well done. I know those boys personally, and I know how much pain that would have caused them.
I thought them being musicians, they would have some kind of sense of rhythm. But quite frankly, they embarrassed us and themselves in
They
front of
did, didn't they?
everybody
Bless them.
in
That's fine.
Bristol last night. No, yeah, but what a lovely band,
Yeah,
great musicians, terrible dancers, but
yeah.
just very chuffed to have them on the tour with us.
Well, it was class. I've had cover sets on it, loads of gigs in Sheffield when they first started, and I've known them personally for years. Just to see them playing the big stages with you lot, it's just great to see that you're giving bands that extra push now as well, because you've had it in the past, haven't you? So you
Like
see the value.
that venue last night, we'd done 3 times as a support band
Yeah.
with the Wonder Stuff Sleeper and Shed Seven, and it felt like always the bride, always the bridesmaid, never the
Yeah.
bride. But last night, mate, I was looking bridal.
You were loving it. Brilliant, brilliant. So what's it been like? What's life like on the bus then on this big neon bus?
It's
Um,
nice, mate. Like I like it. It makes life a lot easier to just go to bed after a gig and wake up in the next place. Like
yeah,
one of the toughest things about touring is just the travel, and we're not going to be on a bus when we go to Europe, and it's like 7 hours in a van sometimes every day, and it's tough, especially when you hate everybody.
No, well, yeah. Well, I thought Katie were going to be on because I was going to ask her what's it like to be with three other boys on a bus, for all your lot farting
Uh, I can answer that on her behalf. She's the
and.
worst farter.
knew
Absolutely
it.
the worst one.
I knew it. I did. And deep down, I could.
We
Yeah.
did one last night just before we went on stage. We were in this tiny corridor at the stage door, just about to go on, and she dropped her ass. And then like, sorry. It's like, really? Like you're in a tiny corridor with all your friends.
She'll love that. I would have said it to her. Brilliant. So the last time we caught up, mate, it was a while ago. It was the day before you were going to find out whether you had a #1 album. The last time we had a chat on the podcast, and
Oh,
you weren't quite sure, so you recorded two versions of it, whether you got to #1 or whether you didn't, and obviously you did. And have you still got the gong on you, or have you put it down now?
I've
The
just about put it down because I'm ready to get another one
Another
now.
one. Yeah, I know you were. Yeah, so the new album's out. I've been listening to the new album as well. Very nice. I've had a
Thank you.
sneak peek as well, mate. And yeah, so is this
Tell
album?
me
Do
specifically what you like about it.
you know what? I like the song that Katie sung on it with Nickelback.
Oh, do you? Interesting. Whatever. I
Well,
still wrote
it's pure lottery winners. It's pure fun. It's pure energy. There's moments in it when you talk about your stories and your ADHD and all that kind of stuff. The singles have been out from the album anyway, and you talk about your struggle with anxiety and all the things that us humans have to deal with. So it's pure lottery winners, but it felt a little bit more mature, if that's the right word to say. You tell me
Yeah,
how you
I
feel
felt
about it.
like
Your view feels is better.
that. I felt like it felt a little bit more grown up. I don't know. I suppose like there's a lot of themes on the record, and ADHD is one of them, but only because whilst writing that record, I was going through the diagnosis process. And so I actually got the diagnosis kind of during writing the album.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of emotions wrapped up in getting that piece of paper because it kind of, explained a lot of my childhood, a lot of the things that were bad about it, like getting kicked out of school, feeling broken, never really fitting in, feeling like I couldn't do simple things. It kind of lifted the guilt of feeling like that all my life. But then I also had this like mourning period of everything I missed out on because it wasn't supported and or even recognized, and I was just like labeled as this naughty kid. But so yeah, there's like a lot of emotions that have been put into the record around that.
And
But
how long was that process to get diagnosed? Because I know a few people that have applied for it, and it just seems to just take forever. And people that are just generally just interested to see if where they are in the spectrum because they've had similar kind of experiences growing up, and they just want a bit of closure to it. Really, I suppose some people.
yeah, it took a long time to be honest, mate. I was on the waiting list for a long time. I think the NHS are absolutely unsupported and overwhelmed. I don't blame like the NHS that I was on for so long. But I ended up going private in the end.
Yeah,
So it was the only way to get it done.
yeah. You just wanted to know, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, and I wanted to try the medication, see if that worked for me.
Yeah.
I haven't found one that has worked. It's been kind of I don't know, I felt like I lost my spark a little bit when I was medicated. And if there's anybody watching or listening to this that is considering trying the medication, I would say do try it. It's like not my experience would not be reflective of everybody's, but for me, it kind of I haven't found the right thing yet.
Yeah. So one thing I was a little bit annoyed with are these three gigs. I went to the Friday gig. I went with my mate Harriet Rose, who were supporting you on the Friday gig.
Yeah.
I'm a bit annoyed. I didn't get to see Robbie Williams. I should have bought tickets for all 3 nights, but you can't win them all, can you?
Tell you what, if you want to see us and Robbie Williams, you can come to a number of gigs this summer.
Yeah, here we go. I can talk about that in a bit. That's brilliant. But just I was talking to the Lathams earlier this week, and a couple of other bands. Who were the other one? Oh, Loose Articles, and they're starting to do a bit more collab work and working with other people just to test things and just to see how it goes. And I can't think of another band that it's worked better for than than you guys. Just working with all these amazing artists. Shed Seven, Frank Turner, Boy George. When I interviewed down at Tramlines, you told us that you got Boy George's number in your phone, and there was something happening with that. So I'm like, wow, it's just like all these big names: Shawn Ryder, Nickelback. You can keep going on. Reverend and the Makers, my mate from Sheffield. All these collaborations. How has it been for you working with these people?
It's incredible, mate. Like, I'm just so thrilled that I can ask like a lot of my musical heroes that you've just listed off there. I can send them a song and they can say, yeah, I want to sing on that. Like, I think that's an incredible thing. It blows my mind every time, and I'm glad that other bands are doing it. Firstly, because I invented it, and I'm a trendsetter.
Okay.
But it's quite a prevalent thing, isn't it? In like hip hop and pop music, you get a lot of like featured artists and collaborations, but it doesn't really happen in indie music
Oh,
until I invented it.
yeah.
So I will be expecting 20% of the royalties on any loose articles, collaborations.
I will send it to girls as well so they know about it. Don't want anybody into trouble. So yeah, but you mentioned like having the cover sets on last night and supporting new bands. It was my mate Johnny Blade got up on stage that night at the who we've been doing his music. He got up on stage with you on the Friday night as well. So like even like people that are they're like eggs. They've just come out of the womb. They've just picked up a guitar. They've probably had one little single out, and they've got that experience of just Tom Rylance pissing about with him on stage and doing his thing around him. I just think it's amazing, mate. I think people should shout about those type of things and the good work you do like that, and you give back so much. I want to celebrate that.
Oh, thank you, mate. That's sweet of you to say. I'm not trying to do it to be for any reason other than that's what those opportunities were afforded to us, and some bands were great to us and gave us amazing support slots and put us in front of people, and without them doing that, there's no way that we'd be doing what we're doing now. So I just really appreciate it.
Nice one. And I know like my mate from Sheffield as well, Harriet Rose, that opened up the night. Just just hearing back from them, just saying it's an amazing opportunity. They just get so much from it. I'm gushing a little bit, but I just think it's a really good thing. More people should do it, and they don't, which I just find annoying sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like gatekeeping in the music industry, and they're like, it feels like there's always someone gatekeeping you from the next thing. But I never want to be one of those people. Do you know what I mean?
Talk us through Robbie Williams and how did this all how did that all kick?
Well, he started in a band called Take That.
Yep. Okay.
I believe he was about 15 years old, and he went to an audition. And to get in the band, he didn't really nail the audition, but he turned around just as he was leaving and did a little wink, and I think that got him in the band. But then Take That, it was a bit rocky for them at the start. They didn't really have any hits. Gary Barlow, this guy called Gary Barlow, was the main songwriter. Is this what you wanted? Yeah.
You've been asked this question before, haven't you, pal?
No, I've just seen Better Man, which is an amazing film, by the way.
Okay.
If you get a chance to see it, or if you've not seen it, go and see Better Man. Yeah, it's wicked.
You were at the premiere, weren't you, as well? Weren't you at the premiere for that?
Yeah, I don't like showing off about it, but I was at the premiere with Holly Willoughby and that, just chilling.
Just talk us through these little experience, little Tom Rylance, just out there in the big old world with all these celebrities. It must be
crazy, mate. Like, I don't. Well, it's different now with Robbie because we've like really become like friends, like genuine friends, and we talk, 5-6 times a week on FaceTime. But at first it was wild for me because I've been a Robbie fan all my life. Genuinely, like really, I've been a Robbie fan all my life. The first song that I ever sang in a public setting was Strong by Robbie, and it was at Low Bank Ground in primary school, and I sang it with Stephen Fish. And there's just something about that before, like the first time singing in front of someone, it uploaded some code into my brain where it was like, okay, this is what we do. Like, this is what makes us happy. So when I get to call him Rob, when Rob reached out for that first time, and we had like an hour-long FaceTime because he'd heard one of our tunes on the radio, and he just, I don't know, we just laughed, and I got him and he got me, and we just kind of got on straight away. And like, even when I've been doing like, I'll be at the studio with the band and he'll FaceTime and we'll have a chat. And like Kate said afterwards, it's like you like the same person. Like you'll say like very similar things, and like he's like got ADHD as well, and he's a show off. He's like whatever the opposite of Team U is version of me. Like he's the fucking Selfridges version of, of
Is,
me.
is he your favorite Rob? Is he
You
around?
asked me when my least favorite Rob isn't in earshot.
Hey,
Oh, bless you. So yeah, how does your Rob get a look in now? You've got this new Rob on the scene.
I do think he's getting a little bit jealous that I've upgraded my Rob.
Brilliant, brilliant.
But he can't compete. There's no competition there.
Bless him. Oh, I'm only messing Rob, just
Rob,
teasing.
Rob was barely even in Take That.
That's brilliant, brilliant. So yeah, so new albums coming. So yeah, you're on tour now. You're out there on the road. Is it going to be full of collaborations and full of people turning up and surprising the people there this tour as well? Is it hard to keep that up? I suppose as well. It might be.
Yeah, it was definitely hard in those days between Christmas and New Year.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yes. No, I think it's mainly just us, to be honest. And but we did the first night last night and didn't have any plan really. We didn't even do a practice for it. We played some of the songs for the very first time in soundcheck. But yeah, it just went well. And I was very grateful it went well. I was really nervous that it wouldn't, but what you're making, crumpets. Yeah,
Oh, hungry now. Hungry
oh, let's have one.
now. I noticed that because I'm a member of the Lottery Winners Facebook group. I noticed one of the posts that you put on it about maybe thinking about changing that the date that the album come out because you put a couple of examples out there. One example where it comes out with loads of other people, so it'll just make it harder to get to number one. And the second one was you've got these dates on telly and future commitments that you were swirling around. Have you come to any kind of decision on what you're going to do?
Yeah, I think we're going to stick with it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a difficult decision, isn't it? Because obviously the number one album, that's a really big deal, and it comes like people have asked me like, why do you want another number one album, or like what's the relevance or importance of the charts? Are they still relevant anymore? And yes, absolutely, because the press and the attention that you get from getting a number one album is just something that can't be bought. Like, well, we can't afford to buy anyway. We don't have the kind of budgets to get us that kind of press and attention. So it really is important for bands like us, and that's why you'll see a lot of bands jostling their release dates. I know the Sherlocks have put back to like May. I think they were supposed to be releasing today. Today's the Friday, the 21st of February. This should have been our release day as well. They've pushed back till May. I don't even think they've really addressed it. They've just been like, oh, the album now comes out in May. The Lavums, they moved because of Lady Gaga. They moved forward a week, I think. Or manufacturing. If
Okay.
if that's what they said, I'm sure that's true. But it's like very common that bands will now change their release dates because I mean you cannot compete with these major pop like Inhaler, young working class lads come from nothing. I'm only joking. I know it's Bono's son. I'm only messing.
I don't
Right? But even so, great band. And they were like in the midweeks and everything. They were number one all week. And then Taylor Swift on the Thursday, I think, just dropped some reissue of a live vinyl, sold 40,000 copies of it and took it off them. And so they're a bit robbed there. So
You're really generous on that Facebook group, though. You're always on there, chatting to your fans, aren't you, and explaining things because you put quite a long post on it. It was really interesting to read, actually. Just and the reasons why you were thinking about it. And fans will be fans. They probably want things straight away, don't they? But I think the fan groups really appreciate it coming straight from you and the band and what kind of struggles you've still got. They might look at you and think, oh, they've just made it now. They've just played Bristol last night and that's it. They're playing the big stages, but it's still graft in it. You have to work harder the higher up you get, I suppose.
Yeah, but I don't think it's graft to interact and talk with people. Like it's just something we've always done. And like I don't know, it probably sounds cheesy, but I did that post in that group because it affects everybody in there. And
Yeah,
like everybody feels like, certainly to me, everyone feels really invested
yeah.
in the album and the result. And, quite a lot of people have bought multiple copies of it. So they've done that because of this, which is all of our backgrounds and our
Nice, yeah, that's fine.
um so I wanted to involve them in the decision and ask for advice. And it's like I've got a focus group there of like 8,000 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if we're gonna make decisions that, even though it might affect them in a tiny way, if it's going to affect them in any way, then let's bring them in on the conversation.
Well, one thing I thought was really nice from you was, just to, you explain the reason why you bring so many different copies out, and you didn't want your fans to feel like they have to buy all these things as well. You put a post out there, don't get yourself in trouble, trying to support us too much. I thought it was nice, and although you do want to sell all these things, you've got this responsibility on your head, haven't you, to your fans as well? It feels like.
Yeah, and that's important. I don't want anybody to put themselves out or buy anything that they can't afford because they think they're helping.
Mm.
I would much rather that they streamed it, and enjoyed the album and were more comfortable generally, like. But whether someone's buying 100 copies of it, don't tell the charts if anybody has done that. Someone buying 100 copies of it, or just saw us once at a show and liked it, anybody who's part of the journey, I just really appreciate. It's an amazing thing. Like, this is everything that I've wanted to do my entire life, and all these people in whatever capacity are making that possible. So I'm very grateful for them.
So it's got to be on the 21st of March, then, is it now? Coco's
A
got to be.
weeks today, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're on 21st today as we speak. Oh, nice, brilliant. So, what's been your favorite part of the new album then, personally?
Um, all the stress that's come with it, every single step of the way. Um, I love the album. I'm dead proud of it. I think it's a really nice piece of art, and I'm proud of it as a record. I just want to get it out there, man. And like, although I do love like album campaign and it's all busy and it's all go, and it really is all go. Like, we're non-stop. Like yesterday, I had 30 minutes for my lunch, and other than that, from the second I woke up to the second I went to bed, it was just graft. Which I'm not complaining about. It doesn't feel laborious because I love doing it. But I am looking forward to not selling anything for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a salesman, I'm a musician. And oh, thank you. Although, if you do want to buy a crumpet, use my discount code. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the album campaign being over, but I'm also looking forward to everybody having the album and then that living forever.
Nice one. Well, I've got a bit of a surprise question for you, Tom. Okay, let me know if you can hear this. All right, it's I interviewed Clint Boon the other day.
Yeah.
I've asked him to think of a question to ask you direct to you. All
Okay.
right. So you might need to put your. I'm not sure if you can hear.
Hey, Tom.
Could you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
This is a question straight from Clint Boon's mouth. Okay, mate. So let's get your answer.
Hey, Tom. You know how you lot are always doing like really cool collaborations with other music artists like Boy George, Frank Turner, Reverend and the Makers. Why the fuck have you not asked me to do one yet? I'm up for it. Give us a show, man.
There you go. That's the Clint Meister. Little question for you there, Tom, just to put you on the spot.
You know what? I'd love to get Clint on a record. I'd love to get him playing some keys. We're doing a charity night with him in Stockport in a couple of weeks. Strawberry Studios.
Hey, we're talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love Clint. Clint was the first person who ever played us on the radio, ever. And I remember that moment forever, sitting in Co-op car park at like 18 years old, me and Robin, our first shite band called the Jeffs. And we sent Clint a CD in the post, and he played it on XFM at the time.
Yeah,
And
he was one of the first like big names to come on my podcast. As soon as he signed up, we had Reverend the Makers on straight away. We had all the bigger names. We've got lottery winners on now. He's so generous with his time, and supportive of it. You know, and you can't. I ain't got any a bad word to say about that lad. I even went into his house and had a cup of tea when I picked him up on interview and all that kind of stuff. He's just such a generous person with his time and his talent.
He is. He's a lovely, lovely man, and we've done loads of stuff with Clint. He's like one of our really close mates, really. And you're right. He's right. I don't know why we haven't put him on a record yet, but he'll definitely be on the next one.
There we go. Planted the seed here at the RGM Experience podcast. So the album's out in a month. So the big build-ups coming up. How are you going to fit it all in now? The tours started before the planned. The album was out today to coincide with the tour, weren't it? And obviously you can't move everything. How are you going to do all the shop and everything while you're on tour and the album? Is it all? Have you got any time for you? I'm worried about you.
I'm worried about me. No, I don't know, man. I'm taking every day as it comes.
Fair enough.
And we're just going to do our best and just keep pushing and keep working hard and see where we get. Nice. And we're like James Arthur, Selena Gomez. That's our competition for the week. And I'm really famous and really big. So it's going to be a very steep uphill battle, but I've never been afraid of a battle.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Well, again, let's do it. We'll be shouting, flying the flag here at the RGM magazine, getting The Lottery Winners their second #1 album. If somebody's hovering over the link that's in the description of this podcast to buy the album and support the boys and girls, click on the button. You can catch them on tour. Is there any tickets left for the tour, by the way?
A couple in certain venues. Some of them are sold out.
Okay, so we'll put a link to the gigs. You grab the last few tickets for that. Grab yourself a couple of vinyls if you can afford it, of course, responsibly. Yeah. If somebody is hovering over that, Tom, mate, what would you say to those people hovering over it?
I'd say that a lot of people are saying that this album is better than the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club album by the Beatles, and if you don't own it, everyone's going to think you're really uncool.
Yeah, just going to think you're a dick, aren't they? Just let's press that.
Like, what, you've not got Coco?
Dick. Tom, mate, I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy. Come on, lad. Enjoy the tour. I'll see you around one day, and I wish you all the best for this big push for your second #1. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thank you for having me. I love it.
You're welcome. Anything else we can help you with today?
Any more crumpets?
Tom, sponsored by Warburton's. Are the Warburton's ones?
No, we're not on Warburton's. We actually went mad at our tour manager because he bought the Kellogg's Crunchy Nut. Kellogg's ones. What are you talking? He could have got a 75p Lidl version, and he got the Kellogg's version. It's like, who do you think we are? I know we're on a neon bus, but we're still, we're not got Philadelphia. We've got bloody Creamfields.
Sorry for everybody else that's there. Then I've set him off. Cheers, mate.
All right, nice one, mate.
Thanks for your time. Thanks, Tom.